messages beyond the grave to messages for the future. Today's list covers all this and more. Welcome back, most amazing top 10 everyone. I'm your host Rachel Fisher, and join me as we count down our list of top 10 terrifying messages from the past. Let's get going. Number 10, Jack the Ripper. Okay. Alright, so we're starting off with some Ripper Tube or Ripper Talk, whatever the kids say. These messages still haunt cold case enthusiasts to this day. I mentioned before in earlier videos with some controversy that the case was solved due to DNA evidence recovered from one of the victims, Catherine Eddowes. But there remains skepticism and ongoing investigations for this case because, it's over 130 years old, and can we really be sure? According to the Smithsonian Magazine, the evidence strongly suggests Barbara Aaron Kaminsky, but still isn't enough to close the case. But this is the main event, the boss letter. The boss letter is one of the creepiest letters he ever wrote, and it is below. Dear boss, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I have laughed when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track. That joke about leather apron gave me real fits. I am down on and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand work the last job was. I gave the lady no time to squeal. How can they catch me now? I love my work and want to start again. The next job I do, I shall clip the lady's ears off and send to the police officers just for jolly, wouldn't you? Keep this letter back till I do a bit more work, then give it out straight. My knife's so nice and sharp, I want to get to work right away if I get a chance. Good luck. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper. P.S. wasn't good enough to post this before I got all the red ink off my hands. Curse it, no luck yet. They say I'm a doctor now. Ha ha. Creepiest letter, and it still makes people want to check out that case to this day. The worst. Number 9. Pressed to death. Remember the Salem witch trials? If you've been following my videos for a while on this channel, you may recall how much I hate the Salem witch trials, that whole debacle. If you admitted you were a witch, you were saved. If you were accused and didn't confess, you were hung. I could never sit through a production of The Crucible, even though it's a good play. I know it's a good play. Because I'd be imagining going back in time with my cell phone, dressed as the devil with some pyrotechnics, and then play Panic at the Disco or something ridiculous on my phone with my degree under my arm because that's extra oomph. Ooh, a woman with a mind, And then they burn me at the stake and I'd be like, you know what guys, guess what? I'm the devil. None of these bewitches are mine. Anyways, this message from the past is from the headstone of Giles Corey, who was pressed to death, which is what the headstone simply reads. Giles Corey, pressed to death, September 19th, 1692. When he along with his wife was accused, he refused to allow himself to be put on trial. In order to get the confession out of him, they piled rocks on top of him, to which Corey replied, more weight, until he died. Keep in mind, Corey also beat to death Jacob Goodall in 1675, and he was only asked to pay a fine for that, but he was pressed to death to be a witch. Sort that out, right? Oh, so frustrating. Anyways, number 8, the lipstick killer. We talk about a lot of dark stuff on this channel, so warning, here is another example as to why people are terrifying. The lipstick killer was the name of the infamous criminal who plagued Chicago in the 1940s. After the lives of 3 people were taken viciously in 1946, a chilling message was left in lipstick on the wall of Francis Brown's apartment. The message read, "For heaven's sake, catch me before I kill more. I cannot control myself." The killings were eventually pinned on William Herons, who maintains his innocence to this day. Strangely enough, most of the evidence held against him fell apart. He claims that his arrest was the result of abuse and an overzealous attempt for Chicago police to catch the killer, so it could be that the lipstick killer was still out there somewhere fighting the urge to kill again, and maybe he succeeded. We'll see. Number 7, a real life howler. I think we can all relate in various ways to the fear we get when our parents give us that look or say our full name, so I can't even imagine what it would be like to hear it from the grave. This next story is from Christian 8, and I'll let him tell it. My family went out of town for spring break and bought a Ouija board. A few minutes into playing, the kitchen sink turned on all by itself. When they asked who it was, the board read, Renee. My great-grandma's name was Renya, and for some reason it kept going over the numbers 3 and 4. Later on, my mom realized that she was 34 at the time that she died. Since then, she refuses to even consider playing it again. She thinks it was her grandma telling her she's still watching. Her grandmother was always very against Ouija boards, so she felt like she was getting in trouble with the dead. Good on you, Grandma. Stay away from Ouija boards, kids. Number 6. A grim warning. This next one came from Reddit user E4E49 and damn. This message is clearly terrifying because even though it's a good thing, the fact that it came from someone who passed away freaks me the heck out. Here is the tale. My dad and I drive through the hills a lot. He's pretty experienced and I don't get car sick, so he really puts his boot into it. However, one day we were coming around a bend when I felt something press hard into my chest, like a hand. It pushed me back against my seat, but I managed to turn toward my dad and say quietly, "Slow down here." And the next moment a car came speeding from the opposite direction. There was a near collision. He laughed nervously as I felt the hand soften on my chest, and I looked out my window to see a cross and flowers. Someone was looking out for us that day. So sad, but so, like, hopefully that's like something they remember. Now the dad's probably not as much of a, no, he's probably still a lead foot, but you know, be safe about it. Number 5, Alois Irlmaier. World War I, World War II, and will there be a World War III? Well, Alois Irlmaier, a German man in the 1950s, made such a prediction that many are waiting to come true. Alois stated that the Third World War will begin in the Middle East, and I quote, "Big naval forces are facing hostility in the Mediterranean. The situation is strained, but the actual firing spark is set on fire in the Balkans. I see a large one falling, a bloody dagger lies beside him, and then impact is on impact. 2 men kill a third high ranked. They were paid by other people," unquote. There's plenty more to the prophecy, and the creepiest part for me is when he says, "Immediately revenge comes from across the large water. However, the yellow dragon invades Alaska and Canada at the same time." What does that mean? Let us know if you've read the full prophecy and what your thoughts are in the comments. It's pretty creepy considering the events happening at the moment in the Middle East are explosive to say the least, so hey, you know, the 2012 thing never happened, so maybe this won't. Hopefully this won't, but who knows. Number 4, Geoglyphs. The Nazca lines are some of the most mind-boggling ancient geoglyphs on the planet. Due to their sheer size and precision, no one quite knows why they were created and how, but some speculate that they were drawn to symbolize a visit with alien life. Located 250 miles south of Lima, Peru, created by Nazca people, there are over 70 precise depictions of animals plus an image of a decapitation and a large humanoid figure known as the astronaut, right? Some of the designs of the geoglyphs measure around 30 miles, and experts have no idea how or why these drawings were created with such precision. The astronaut is the strangest one of them all, as it kind of looks like it's waving as well, and then it's got like a really big round head, like it's wearing a helmet. Were these drawings an attempt to contact perhaps creatures they saw in the sky? Or is this a message to the future, giving us a sign that something not of this earth once visited? Number 3, Zoroaster. The Zoroastrian religion was one of the world's oldest practiced monotheistic religions based off an ancient Iranian prophet named Zoroaster. It may have originated as far back as 4,000 years ago. After a vision of a divine being, he convinced his followers to worship Ahura Mazda. His prophecy of how the world will end is the most terrifying on this list. He said that a comet named Geoglyphs will strike the earth at an undetermined point in the future. Lava will flow across the earth, burning all unrighteous beings, while those who are righteous, the lava will merely feel like warm milk. A prediction similar to this one is also in the Bible in Revelations 8:8-9, but hopefully neither come true, but it is really creepy that there are parallels between the two. But again, who really knows? Number 2, the third secret. The Fatima mystery is probably one of my favorite conspiracies I've ever heard about while doing this job. The Vatican have kept these messages a secret in the Vatican archives since the event. In 1917, 3 children allegedly saw an apparition of the Virgin Mary in a field. 70,000 people, after having heard, gathered in the same sheep pasture where they witnessed a spinning silver disc in the sky. The children received 3 messages from the specter, which the Vatican have kept hidden away, and only revealed a censored version of them, allegedly. However, one of the messages leaked out, and apparently it said, and I quote, "We are here, we have been since thousands of years ago, and that they will return again," unquote. Aliens? We don't know. It's nice that if it is aliens, it's nice that they actually were like, hey, just so you know, we've been here for a while. Last but not least, number 1, Saint Hildegard. Saint Hildegard was a 12th century Benedictine nun who was renowned for her extraordinary visions and prophecies. She started writing down her visions when she was in her late 40s. Good on ya, and wasn't someone to go along with any rules. She also was an incredible composer, but with this prophecy, whether you believe in prophecies or not, foretells the end of the world. And I quote, "Before the comet comes, Many nations, the good excepted, will be scoured with want and famine. The great nation in the ocean that is inhabited by people of different tribes and descent by an earthquake, storm, and tidal waves will be devastated. It will be divided and a great part submerged. Considering a lot of scientists predict California will fracture by an earthquake and become the new Atlantis, this prophecy is pretty eerie. Also, with the fact that the ice caps are melting and even parts of Canada like Nova Scotia and the East Coast might be underwater, kinda creepy. It also could be pretty North American arrogance for me to assume that the great country in the middle, mixed with a whole bunch of different people, is the place that she's talking about. But what do you think, guys? Anyways, guys, that was our top 10 list of terrifying messages from the past. You know what to do. If you like this video and you want more, we listen to you. So press that like button, comment, subscribe. Boop 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 boop. You know what to do. I've been your host, Rachel Fisher, and until next time, take care.